Guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, everyone. Of course, for some reason, I chose to continue wearing my safety vest I wore today at my orientation for my holiday job, which the orientation was meh. But I'm not here, of course, to rant on that, even though I probably could have put something on the list for being super annoying. But again, back to the review, guys. So we're live for the first of two, maybe three reviews tonight. I've only been able to watch NXT UK and 205 Live so far, but I just, again, had a lot to do to get ready for the holidays. So after I do NXT UK and my 205 Live reviews, I will watch NXT because I am also currently working on my, well, I should point here because it's on this computer I'm working on, my TLC 2018 match card. But of course, I'll watch NXT again. Since it's a Fallout show, it's always not usually that reviewable, but we'll see what it is tonight because of course stuff with Nikki Cross and Candice LeRae is happening tonight and a few other things. So there might be some story tonight to talk about in an NXT review. So I'll we'll see what happens there with that. See if NXT is reviewable. If not, then I'll just pass. But anyway, so welcome to my live review, guys, of NXT UK, which like last week. Now we're on the tapings from back in August that took place at the NEC Arena in Birmingham, England. The main story again from this week's two episodes, since again they're still trying to play catch up. So we got episodes 9 and 10 this week. Overall, not too bad, not quite as strong as last week. I feel we did have a couple pretty good performances from Rhea Ripley on this show. Toni Storm had two matches also because this did have like the last match of the quarterfinals, and they had the two semifinal matches also on this show as well. And the second show for the tournament for the NXT UK Women's Championship. And I thought Rhea Ripley, of course, put on two great matches against Zaya Brookside and Dakota Kai. Or I'm sorry, I like the way the NXT UK announces her name, Dakota Kai. I don't know. I just like the way they say her name, Dakota Kai. Yeah, those should put a good match. Toni Storm 2 matches also. You think she put on some of the greatest matches. The match she had, hold on. But the match that she had on the second show, which was the main event of the second episode of NXT UK, was definitely by far the match of the week for NXT UK. The first match she had with Isla Dawn was actually kind of disappointing. I'll explain why, of course, when we get to it. Other than that, not so much what really happened, honestly. I mean, it was I gave it a good grade, a grade for like a good week, I'd say. Again, there's still storyline wise developments, but again, I'm still trying to get behind some of these guys too, if you know what I mean. I'm still trying to be a little lenient with my grades, not grade them too harshly, if you know what I mean. Because we're still getting phenomenal wrestling matches, no doubt about it. It's just the stories are still not quite behind everything yet. So of course, once the roster continues to get even more established, I'm sure we'll be getting some A-level shows. Of course, I gave the first week an A-. I thought we were off to a good start, but again, we need to get some storylines still brewing here. As we have just like this men's singles were brewing. Now we're focusing on, of course, getting the women's division going, and then of course, probably to the women, we'll get the tag division going as well. So let's get started here and see what we can talk about. First with episode 1. Of course, I believe at the beginning of this episode, we did a couple backstage segments that happened during episode 1, from what I can remember. I think it was more so segments throughout the night. I remember these segments because for some reason Cage Side Seats doesn't keep us updated on NXT UK results anymore. I don't know why, because that's my source. I had to use a couple other different sites now for my sources for the my notes again. But basically, there was a segment with Zach Gibson and James Drake backstage saying, explaining why they're teaming up, which now it seems like, because for the past few weeks, they've been teasing like teams getting together, saying like, we're going to get together to start developing teams for the NXT UK tag titles. And I thought Zach Gibson was more so going forward, like going to be just like a single star, but apparently him and James Drake now are going to be a tag team. So could just be just, another heel alliance pretty much eventually, get Zach Gibson another championship shot, maybe, who knows. Pretty much just explaining their actions there. I think it was last week, one of the shows, we had CID Skala, who I haven't been too impressed with yet. Apparently he's asking for another opportunity. He's been on a losing streak, which is kind of okay. We're kind of getting some like underdog theme here for this for this guy, and apparently he's going to get a match against one. I think it was Joe Coffey, one of the Coffey brothers. Next week, in 2 weeks, he's going to get an opportunity for us. Well, we'll probably see that show next week if they're still doing 2 shows. I'm pretty sure they're probably already doing 2 shows next week, from what I can tell. So we got that happening also, and then oh gosh, there was one more. I'm trying to remember what it was now. Shoot, Zach Gibson, CID Skala. Oh yeah, there was, speaking of Coffey brothers, there was a segment also showing them trying to taking out Trent Seven in a Fallout segment from last week's second show. So it does look like, and it says I'm like, one member British Strong Style down, 2 to go or something like that. So it looks like we probably will eventually get a match with Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Tyler Bate, or whatever they're saying, and Trent Seven against Wolfgang and the Coffey brothers, which probably could probably set up for the tag title feud I think we're going to see between Mustache Mountain and the Coffey brothers. So we'll see how that goes down. Definitely, there was some backstage segments that I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Of course, let's get into our first match of the show of the week. Of course, from episode 1, the first match we had was Rhea Ripley taking on Xia Brookside. Of course, you don't remember who Xia Brookside was. She was actually had the first Mae Young Classic match against Io Shirai, which unfortunately, despite a great effort, and she's a small competitor, only 19 years old. She definitely did impress me in a match with Io Shirai. But of course, we all knew Io Shirai was getting pretty far. Again, we all thought she was going to win it, but then Toni Storm won it, which again, completely fine with me. Definitely, understandably, they're not going to give it the same nationality every single year or whatnot, which completely cool with that. But against Rhea Ripley, who last year was like this, in the Mae Young Classic of 2017, Rhea Ripley was like this really, attractive, beautiful lady we could girl we can get behind. I mean, she's only 22 years old now. And then, of course, this year they gave her a more serious character. She's more of a heel now, more like she looks like a tomboy on a motorcycle pretty much. But I think her character is awesome. She's not as attractive to me as she was, of course, from her face character. Of course, that was probably a little bit bland what she had. Now she's developed more of a character, and now she pretty much reminds me of heel Pete Dunne, pretty much, with the look and everything. And of course, she's pretty big also for a girl as well. So yeah, pretty much just a big powerhouse, pretty much for the women's division again, who is definitely going to be a huge star today. Even Xia Brookside as well, I think are going to be both make great stars as well. Of course, Rhea used her power and height advantage most of this match. Xia, though, got some great offense in. She had a reverse submission, and she had some double knees in the corner and head scissors takedown. But then Ripley caught up to Brookside following a leap from the top rope. And then she eventually hit her pummel handle power bomb, aka the Riptide, and which will then set up Rhea Ripley to face Dakota Kai. I'm sorry, let me say her name one more time. The way the announcer says, I love the way they say it, Dakota Kai. Again, I just love it. But she'll face Dakota Kai in the second episode, in the first of the 2 matches, the semifinals. Again, for those who didn't see the Mae Young Classic, just a way to introduce Xia Brookside, of course, well, again, she was young and she's only 19, and I do think she's very talented. Of course, she's probably not going to be the face of this division. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously either going to be Toni Storm. Obviously, the top 4. Well, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Yeah, but obviously there's like a set of 4 already who are pretty much at the top of the division. Like everybody else, you can tell they still have a little bit of ways to go. Whatnot. Those who didn't advance the tournament, they've shown good signs so far, but again, unfortunately, they still have their ways to go, I think, in order to be considered, top contenders again. Although I don't know this is the only 8, because once again, we did have Killer Kelly in a match, and I think it was, Dakota Kai's NXT UK debut match a few weeks ago. Actually, about a month ago now. But we'll see what happens there. But good opening match, I thought. Again, it was just a Xia Brookside, and of course, Rhea Ripley is all. Again, I do think both these girls have bright futures ahead of them, for the most part. What's up, Elite Squad? Thank you for joining me. But then with the second match we had, here was the second back. This involved the second backstage segment that we had in this show. So we then have Eddie Dennis again, who was that former principal headmaster, who was good friends with Pete Dunne and Mark Andrews. I'm really digging his character. and of course, Pete Dunne and Mark Andrews went on to be what he wanted to be, and then finally he, walked out. He pretty much, like worked to eventually, be able to leave the education business and whatnot and get into back into the ring where he felt he belongs, because of course he just wanted to show Pete Dunne and Mark Andrews that he can do what he can do, which again is what I think is eventually going to lead to. Again, I think eventually when he's ready, Eddie Dennis could be the one to dethrone Pete Dunne based off of the story that's going on right now. But he had a match against Jack Stars. I don't know if Jack Stars is just a jobber or whatnot. He pretty much just mocked a smaller opponent throughout this whole match, and he dominated most of the rest of it. Of course, starts got a brief rally, and then he hit like a trademark next stop driver on him. But yeah, again, his character definitely so far is the most intriguing. It was pretty much just a squash match, but I'm really enjoying the story game behind him. Pretty much, he's definitely being built up to be a pretty dominating singles heel for NXT UK. I think so. And I think also he pretty much was telling Ashton Smith to watch. And so I think, to give Eddie Dennis some more competition, we'll probably see a match with him and Ashton Smith either next week or in the following week as well. So again, since we're still doing 2 episodes and whatnot. But I thought, again, another good show. Again, I'm really getting behind this Eddie Dennis character for sure. Again, I'm starting to think he may be the one to eventually dethrone Pete Dunne at the UK titles right now is what I'm thinking. Moving on here, we then had Mark Andrews taking on Mike Hitchman, who's being called the Wild Boar now. Obviously, the bigger man Hitchman is taking on Mark Andrews, of course. Again, Mark Andrews is another guy, I'm really getting behind as well. And this match is basically just like, like a smaller man versus, a bigger man. And the bigger man having a good performance and bring out the best in the smaller man, which the smaller man overcomes the giant pretty much. Make it look that, okay, Mark Andrews, yes, he's a scrappy underdog pretty much, but, he's able to put up a big fight against him or Wolfgang and others as well. I thought this was a solid match as well. Put over the intensity and Hitchman, but put over the heart and whatnot, and the risk taking of Mark Andrews as well. Hitchman did have the advantage for a while on him in the match, but then he showed off his high flying ability from the top rope. Hitchman did though take control, hit an inverted senton into the corner, gain a 2 count. Andrews hit the stunt dog millionaire shooting star press on him though to get the victory. Again, solid match. Again, just basically Mark Andrews showing he's an underdog, but he can overcome the big men as well, pretty much in size. We didn't have a match that I thought really kind of disappointed. Isla Dawn and Toni Storm, the last match for the quarterfinals for the NXT UK Women's Championship tournament. Isla Dawn definitely has potential, but I don't know if this is because, we've seen Toni Storm have the matches she had in the Mae Young Classic, such as the ones with especially with Mako Satomura. Again, is still a top 2 or top 3 contender for me for match of the year. Again, right now my 4 match choices for match of the 5 actually. I have 5 match of the year candidates for the women so far. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match, Asuka and Charlotte, Toni Storm, Mako Satomura, the SmackDown Live Women's Championship match, and then Becky and Charlotte, last one standing, are my contenders for women's match of the year so far. That match is for sure. And I think the bar was set very high for her that match. She put on a great performance against Io Shirai, but again, that performance with Mako Satomura definitely matches Mae Young tournament. And I think also too, Isla Dawn was just eliminated way too early from the Mae Young Classic, I felt. And then she kind of dominated Toni Storm throughout most of the match. It was supposed to be a face-on-face match pretty much. But Isla dominated most of the match. And Toni Storm took over a lengthy submission, and then she hit a couple kicks and hit a Storm Zero, which she'll face Ginny in the semifinals in episode 2. And again, the match just felt like the ending was abrupt. It felt too quick. Again, Dawn dominated most of the match, and then Storm just hit a finisher. Again, it just felt like a rushed and sudden ending match. Again, not quite what you expect from Toni Storm, since she set the bar really high for her in a Mae Young Classic. But it happens again. They made up for it in the second show. The match she had with Ginny was a really good match. Definitely, I thought brought out the best in both of them. But Toni Storm wins it. So in episode 2, it was going to be Rhea Ripley and Dakota Kai and Toni Storm and Ginny for the semifinal matches for the NXT UK Women's Championship. And then our main event, which again I kind of was hoping first it would have been Toni Storm's match. With of course Isla Dawn, but kind of glad it wasn't. But we had this match. It was something different for the main event. Garrow taking on Jordan Devlin, who again I really got behind mostly because he reminds me a lot of Finn Balor, of course, with the UK Championship tournaments that he has been involved in. Again, I do think Jordan Devlin's talented, but he hasn't quite. After seeing guys like Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Mark Andrews, a couple other people, I gotta say, the Coffee Brothers, Noam Dar, like a lot of them. Like Jordan Devlin, just I feel like I need to see a little more him more often, of course, because I don't know. There's a lot more people I'm putting like a little higher above him right now than I feel like, like he's meant to be up the side pretty much on the totem pole. Like I feel like he got a little bit lost in the shuffle, in my shuffle that is. And I don't know, him having a match with El Ligero in the main event is not quite what I would say main event worth. I mean, El Ligero has potential as well, but I still see him just like, like a mid-card wrestler right now. I'm still getting to know him as well. So this is a little bit like a weak main event. Like it was a good match, but once again, it just didn't feel like it was quite a main event match. I mean, they gave them time, which I do appreciate what happened. There was some back and forth action for the first several minutes. El Garrow came close to picking up a victory with a code red before Jordan Devlin earned a 3 count with a backdropper. He also got another near fall with a nice Spanish fly before he was suplexed from the top rope by El Garrow, who got a 2 count following a splash. And in the end, though, Devlin landed a moonsault to the outside and hit the knee strike, followed by his finisher to get the win. So again, pretty good performance by them. But again, I wasn't quite digging this for a main event match, but I still thought it was definitely a good match to, give them at least a chance in that spot. And, El Garrow, again, still feels like a mid-card to me. And Jordan Devlin, he's still getting up there. But after the match, though, apparently he called out Pete Dunne, and he says he wants to face him for the UK title, which he actually will get that match next week's show. Well, in the first show of next week, we will get next week. Anyway, that is if they're continuing to do 2 shows at once. So Jordan Devlin is going to be getting an NXT Championship match. So again, maybe give them that opportunity. I don't expect them to win again. I really think it's going to eventually be Eddie Dennis being the one who dethrones Pete Dunne. But I think Jordan Devlin, this could be like a performance that'll help me get like the momentum going for Jordan Devlin. Even though he may not win the match, he'll still look like a big star in the match. So so probably we'll win that. We're getting well, I can't say that one yet because we're not there yet. But we're also getting a CID Skala taking on Joe Coffey. We're also going to be getting probably Ashton Smith and Eddie Dennis in a few other matches. Of course, we saw it get to the second episode. But that's it for episode 1. Again, the best match of the show probably was the match with Rhea Ripley and Xia Brookside. Again, Jordan Devlin and El Garrow was a close second. Again, the match with Toni Storm and Isla Dawn was not awful, but I thought it was a little disappointing. Like, it definitely could have been better than what it was. And I need to just see who this was. Yeah. But anyways, that's it for episode 1 for this week. Check the live chat, see what we got here. Let's see here. We got Robbie in the live chat. He said, "What's up, Mike? I thought last night's episode of SmackDown was all right, with the best segment being the new Daniel Bryan and the Mysterio and Orton match." Yeah, again, that was definitely awesome. I mean, definitely watched at least the beginning. Show my little shrine on my basketball hoop again. I had of like all my Daniel Bryan gear and whatnot. Of playing taps to remember the old Daniel Bryan, which I thought was quite epic. And the Mysterio Orton match is good too. But again, I was getting kind of sick of the whole ripping the mask off the head thing for Rey Mysterio and whatnot. We're also doing that 205 Live also. But again, the rest of the show, again, for last night was kind of disappointing. There was really no follow-up from Survivor Series. Again, we're supposed to, according to Shane, we're supposed to get some changes, some consequences. Besides Charlotte getting ruled getting a $100,000 fine. You know, like what else happened really? You know, who does commentary for NXT UK? Nigel McGuinness and Vic Joseph, I believe. Yeah. Who is your favorite star from NXT UK? Oh boy. Well, of course, I love Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Trying to think, who is my favorite upcoming star? I mean, of course, I do like, you know, what we're getting in the women's division also with Rhea Ripley and Dakota Kai. But again, I still gotta say, you know, I still gotta say so far, I say the one guy, like the newer guy to me that I'm really getting behind though is Eddie Dennis. I gotta say, so I'll say Eddie Dennis. That is a very good question, Elite Squad. Pete Dunne is the best star for NXT UK alongside Noam Dar, Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, and Seven being runner-ups, which for sure. Noam. Which again, yeah, I definitely I definitely think, you know, I mean, Noam is doing better on 205 Live. Now, one, because Triple H is taking over. But I definitely think also him being on NXT UK is going to bring something fresh to him also. We got Romeo Romeo. What's up, man? I don't never seen him before, but what's going on? What's happened? Strowman hand if it really broke. I do not know what's going to happen with that, of course. I mean, I'm still going to put that in my printed match card, which I'm working on after I finish these reviews tonight. And Rob said, did you watch the post-Takeover War Games 2 edition of NXT? I did not get to watch it yet. I'm going to watch it after I do my 205 Live review. But again, it depends if it was. I felt it was a reviewable show, not just like a pre-show / recap show of NXT UK. I mean, NXT Takeover War Games 2, because again, that to me it would just be reviewing the whole takeover again. So again, we'll see how it goes. Again, I reviewed some Fallout shows, but I don't always review the Fallout show over NXT. But I'll see how it goes after I do these reviews tonight. But thank you guys for the stuff in the live chat. Let's continue on with episode 2 of NXT UK. We start off with Rhea Ripley taking on Dakota Kai in this match. It was kind of similar to you know, the Xia Brookside and Rhea Ripley match from episode 1, except of course Dakota Kai is obviously a little bit higher up on the scale than Xia Brookside. It was pretty much another smaller person taking on a bigger person match. Rhea Ripley dominated the match for the most part, but then Dakota Kai connected with several punches and kicks, including her corner kicks, which I like when she does those. Ripley, of course, kicked out the second kick and gained momentum again when she planted Dakota's face into the ring apron. And, of course, Ripley withstood several kicks into the face before hitting her Riptide finisher to get the victory and move on to the finals. Of course, this was like a good, Bayley versus, like an NXT book Bayley, which is what I do see in Dakota Kai, the potential she has. Against another bigger threat, pretty much against a Charlotte. Like this booking like a Rhea Ripley Dakota Kai feud. I'm pretty sure is what we would get between what the main roster should have had built between Bayley and heel Charlotte, pretty much what I'm seeing too. So these two definitely have a good chemistry in the ring. I mean, whether Rhea, one day I'm pretty sure we will get a championship feud between Ripley and Dakota Kai, whether it's for NXT UK or on the main roster. They're both going to be big stars on the main roster for sure. Of course, WWE may screw them up for all we know. But I don't think these two have bright futures. I thought these two put on a really great match. Probably my second favorite match of the of this NXT UK Women's Championship tournament so far, I gotta say, because my favorite match so far is definitely the main event between Toni Storm and Ginny. We'll talk about that shortly, but I thought it was a good opening match for episode 2. Rhea wins, moves on to the finals. We then have Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews, who've been teasing, teaming up to be a tag team to get some gold, taking on the team of Saxon, Huxley, and Joseph Connors. It was a decent tag match, I thought, pretty much. Joe Connors was in control against Flash Morgan Webster, but he decided against it, and he paid the price moments later when Webster hit the Eaton rifle and tagged in Andrews, who landed his shooting star press for the win. And afterwards, Joe Connors attacks Saxon Huxley, and he gets a Judas chant as he walks up the ramp, which, again, I was a little surprised. Okay, we're already doing a tag team breakup, but we're supposed to be forming tag teams right now, which, obviously my plan to a storyline, but hey, not all of them are going to work out pretty much. You can't just say, oh, everybody partner up and everybody's going to be good for a while. No, some type of storyline concept here to probably develop, another single star in some ways in Joe Connors. I mean, they may, what I can see happening is they may take Joe Connors and kind of book him like they did with Lars Sullivan when he first came to NXT. He was teaming up with people, but he just wasn't getting the results he wanted with them, so he just beat them all up pretty much. I think I see us maybe doing that with Joe Connors down the line to develop his character a little more. So we'll see what happens. But Andrews and Webster, who I think is a pretty good tag team together, they get the victory here in a solid tag match, I gotta say. The third match we had was a match advertised from last week. Dave Mastiff and Tyson Tbone. Two bigger guys, obviously going to dominate the brand at some point. We have Tyson Tbone connecting with some strong strikes early, but Dave Mastiff took control when he pretty much sat on him and landed an athletic crossbody. Mastiff then hit a cannonball in the corner, of course, gets the victory. It was an impressive showing from Mastiff. With of course, there's no really secondary title in NXT UK brand, of course, which obviously, they already are showing a big, like a stacked singles roster for the men's in NXT UK. So I don't know if they will eventually get like a secondary title for them, which it would kind of be a little odd to do so. I mean, like we have NXT Championship. This is another like brand, like another division in NXT, like the UK division in NXT, pretty much. So it might not make sense. It might be a little strange to make another championship. Like, what are they going to call it? The NXT Ireland Championship? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think a secondary title is going to work in here, but definitely showing that a lot of these guys are going to be getting a lot of opportunities already. Like, they're giving a lot of people opportunities already to branch out in this division. So we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe some of these guys will compete in both NXT and NXT UK, like a couple people already are, in the men's division, of course, that is also. So we'll see what happens, of course, going forward. I mean, they could probably hop between brands, so we'll see what goes on. But not a bad match, not a bad big man match. And then finally, our last match of the evening, or of the day, of the two shows, was Toni Storm taking on Ginny in the second semifinals match. This was Toni Storm at her best, and this was her bringing out the best in Ginny, who, of course, being like the fashionista or whatever her gimmick is, definitely has a great future as well in NXT UK. I think she will work out very well as well. Toni Storm gained momentum after Ginny started off good. She locked in a lengthy submission again. The biggest moments came, though, when both women caught each other with a headbutt at the same time, gained some more brutality in the match, gained some good NXT chants from the fans. Ginny then, of course, kicked out of a fisherman suplex, and Storm knocked out a brutal face buster in the corner, and Storm then would hit a suplex and the Storm Zero to get a win and a nice standing ovation from the crowd. And again, not only because we all knew Toni Storm, well, then I guess this is recorded before Toni Storm won the Mae Young Classic, but definitely, probably, this is more of like another moment to show that, hey, Toni Storm has a ton of potential. Again, her best match still by far is that match with Meiko Satomura in the Mae Young Classic. But I still think this is definitely another one of her best matches. Like at the time, this was probably her best match, and also again brought out the best in Ginny as well. I mean, she's going to be a great competitor in the ring as well, both as a character and as a wrestler as well. Toni Storm wins, and afterwards we see Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley up on stage tearing on the NXT UK Championship, and then she pretty much pushes Toni Storm. Ripley pushes Toni Storm pretty much to make a statement. Of course, obviously she does not care. She just does whatever she has to do to win the NXT UK Women's Championship, be the first one. So we'll get that match in 2 weeks. As next week we're going to get the the United Kingdom Championship match between Pete Dunne and Jordan Devlin, which hopefully should be a good match. Again, be a good showing for Jordan Devlin and help him up on the totem pole as well. But guys, thank you guys for joining in for this live review of the 2 episodes this week of NXT UK. If I could give this episode a grade, I'll give it a B. A B because besides the women's championship matches, most of our matches didn't really get too much direction going for them for the most part. They're still good matches. Again, got Jordan Devlin to get an NXT championship picture. championship shot and whatnot. I myself with Eddie Dennis, but I was looking at the show, these two shows combined, a B for this week. A B for NXT UK. A live chat saying Dolph Ziggler has been injured with a foot injury. Yikes. That's not too good for him. That sucks. Probably explains why he wasn't out there on Monday night. And the review 205 Live, I will be doing that one next. And then I have to watch this week's episode of NXT also again. See if it's reviewable again, because the Fallout show is not always reviewable because it's pretty much just, a recap of what happened at NXT Takeover, at the NXT Takeover, and just pretty much me repeating repeating another review of NXT Takeover. I don't want to do that. So we'll see if the show's reviewable. But again, I am going to try to get the TLC card done. I don't want to stay up too late tonight, guys. I got to get up early and help get stuff set up for Thanksgiving tomorrow. But of course, I'll give it a B for NXT UK this week. For both shows combined, of course, I'll do 205 Live in a few minutes after we go off the air. But what grade would you guys give NXT UK this week? Leave thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure as always to click my like and subscribe or comment on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirborne93. And if you do not catch me in my 205 Live review, or if I do not review NXT tonight, I just want to give a shout out and say have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. Eat up and whatnot. I will not be working tomorrow night. I thought I was going to own to, but I'm not going to be working tomorrow night yet. I'll be working Thursday, so this night starting next week. So if I'm not doing anything else tomorrow night after family leaves and whatnot, maybe I'll do my special live stream tomorrow night. Of course, I'll explain more, of course, later on tonight. But so until then, guys, I'll see you guys in a few minutes for 205 Live. I'll see you guys all then. Peace out, everybody.